When I first started, I started out as a writer. I was working for newspapers, I was working in print media, and gradually I evolved into digital media and more visual forms of storytelling. So through painting, photography, and filmmaking. And I have been interested in telling stories that I don't feel are often told. When I look at the past 10 years, my journey has been meandering through media and artwork and trying to find a space for myself as a Sri Lankan Muslim filmmaker, Sri Lankan Muslim artist. We are constantly told that being an artist is worthless, it's not something that can bring you money, all kinds of myths like this. I think these are all myths because I have figured out ways to make money, and I know it's not typical like going to working at a doctor's clinic or working at a 9 to 5 all the time. It's a little different obviously, but it is a different template, and it is a template that exists. And especially today with everything that the internet and social media has to offer us, all the avenues that we can take and all the power that we can harness in creating our own unique brands online as creatives and having our voices heard and having our visions heard and learning so much from all that YouTube channels have to offer, and all the ways that you can absorb and exchange ideas and creative collaborations and so on. It's a whole different world, and I feel like we can no longer dismiss artists as if it's just a starving vocation. I've taken on the task of doing career guidance consultation classes on Zoom. It's an idea that sprung up during the pandemic after somebody suggested that I try this out. And it really kind of picked off. Basically, the idea is talking to young creatives, because I was thinking when I was 17 and 18, there was nobody to guide me. Everybody was just like, what are you going to do? What's a writer? What's an artist? You know, I really did feel like I was on my own. I did feel very nervous. I felt the pressure to fit into a certain box. And after 10 years later, I am so happy that I took the path that I did. That I did not conform and do something I didn't actually want to do, that my heart was not really set in, just because everyone said that is the route that you should take. So that is what I'm trying to offer to young girls, young creative Sri Lankan girls, South Asian girls, to kind of give them encouragement that you can pursue an artistic or creative career. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be on the street, busking necessarily. There are institutions, there are amazing media organizations, there are routes that you can take to have your voice heard as a creative. And there are ways, if you work smart and if you work hard, you can find ways to pour your creativity into mediums that also bring you income. So my Zoom classes are basically to kind of get somebody started, get a young girl started on to think, what could I potentially do with my creative skills? So one session is about an hour. So either you can start with just an introductory session where we kind of hone in on what you really want to achieve, or you can go into deeper sessions. Like the first session would be an assessment of your strengths and weaknesses, identifying your goals, what is it you want to achieve, who is your audience, how do you reach them, how do you use social media for storytelling, whatever you are doing, whether it's writing or photography or whatever. And this is very important, I think, what are your non-work oriented challenges, such as your challenges with your parents, your partners, with the conflict in the country, with the pandemic, with religion, whatever it is, like what are your challenges and how can we find ways to slowly kind of overcome them. And I like to talk to students in a way that they feel like that they're coming up with the solutions themselves, because it has to be genuine. I don't just tell people this is what you should do, and this is all coming from a place of what would I have liked to what kind of learning would I have liked to have access to when I was their age. And then resources to help you keep going, how to plan for the year ahead, and self-care and self-discipline tips, and through self-care and self-discipline, how you can kind of really become a girl boss who is in control of your future. And of course, question and answer. So that's like an introductory session. And then the next session would be a more in-depth 1 hour session into whatever art form, an artist workshop, whether it's writing, like a basics intro workshop, whether it's writing or photography or video or whatever art form that you're trying to get into. A look into your previous artwork, we'll workshop it, we'll look at what your style is like, how you edit your artwork or your writing, whose artwork or writing do you read or follow, look into those people and how you can be inspired, what is the unique message you are trying to convey to people, things like that. And then other 1 hour sessions include sessions on earning money and mental health, like how do you balance the idea of earning but also balance it in such a way that you don't get totally obsessed and you think that's the only thing, because I feel like that's also a trap you can fall into when you're earning. How do you balance it with mental health, the importance of mental health, which I feel is a taboo, we don't really talk about it, but if you keep your mental health in check and you take care of it and you do what it takes to keep it in the best tip-top shape, which I think applies to all of us across the board, you can focus on your work and your lifestyle better. You can perform at an optimum level. And also there's a session on social media branding. How do you create a unique online brand for yourself? An intro to blogging, storytelling online. How do you gain an audience of your own online? So these are examples of some of the stuff that I am teaching through career guidance consultation on Zoom classes.